rebelliousness. And right now, in this time of reparation and repatriation. Right now, it's a time of reparation and repatriation. We're going to bring one.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching The Holy Land Uncovered. I'm Jordana Miller. One of the communities here in the Holy Land that's inspired by the Sukkot holiday is Beit Israel. They're a small community of African Americans who believe they're descendants of the lost 10 Jewish tribes that were dispersed after the destruction of the first Jewish temple. Now, our reporter Shelby Weiner went to go meet that community this week in the southern city of Arad. She joins me again here on set. Shelby, before you tell me about this community, you have to tell me what you're wearing on your head.
So in the community...
A crown of sorts.
Yes. In the community of Beit Israel, they have different interpretations of how to carry out the traditions from the Bible. And of course, that applies to the holiday of Sukkot, which is why I'm wearing this on my head. It was given to me while I was there because it's part of how they symbolize Sukkot. But we're going to watch the report first, and it'll explain it all.
Okay, let's do it.
Beit Israel, or the House of Israel, is a religious and social movement centered around strict adherence to their interpretation of the Torah. The group's beginnings go back to 1967 as part of the African Hebrew Israelites' immigration to the Holy Land. The community, now based in the southern city of Arad, is celebrating their take on the biblical holiday Sukkot. We met a founding father of the faith, Chief Hoshua Amariel, to find out what makes their celebrations unique.
You can see right here, from looking here, now, this here is what all of the Jews, every Jew understand the concept of the Sukkah. Now, because we represent Cherokee Law, we always put our Sukkah in a pyramid shape. See, now here in Israel, most Jews, they have their in a square shape. And see, so that the pyramid in square shape is that we believe that Ephraim was the top of the pyramid.
Throughout the week-long holiday, Beit Israel puts these pyramid-shaped palm fronds over their doors. But their homes are not the only place the community puts the symbolic sukkah. We're outside Tel Arad, which is where the House of Israel believes is the true Zion. Now, before we enter their camp, I'm going to put on this wreath, which symbolizes bringing the sukkah with you throughout the holiday. Beit Israel believes the ancient site of Tel Arad is the Jerusalem described in the Bible. Hoshua has spent the last several decades researching this theory in order to prove the religion's belief. Now for Sukkot, they gather to camp in the area of their holy site, which for some is very emotional.
I'm extremely honored because for thousands of years, our people have been forbidden through lack of knowledge on returning here to Mount Zion. And so I feel honored that I've been chosen or allowed to come back to my original homeland. So I'm ecstatic.
But it's not only about faith. Beit Israel is looking to bring more to the world than just religion.
We're trying to bring about a social change. We're trying to let people know that the Torah is not a religious book, but it's a book that governs nations.
The community continues to spread its message to the world, all while praying in their slice of Zion.
Fascinating report there, Shelby. So I now get it, because we're still in Sukkot. You can still wear the crown.
I'm keeping the sukkah with me at all times.
Right. This community, they started to come here after the Six-Day War in the late 60s. But they're small, and are people still coming from the United States to join this group here in Israel?
People are still coming. So they first came to Israel with the group that's more known, the Black Hebrew Israelites in Dimona. But they separated from that group and are now a smaller sect based in Arad. And there's still people coming from America. In fact, it's a commandment to them to come to Jerusalem 3 times a year for the feasts. So because of that, there's people coming from America for each one, including Sukkot. And it's a big mission for them to get here. Many of them are coming from not the highest economic levels, so it's a strong journey, and they work very hard to be able to come and celebrate this holiday here.
I found it was very interesting what he said at the end of your piece, that they're trying to bring a social revolution with the Torah to say that it belongs to all nations, which of course is very different than the traditional Jewish interpretation, which is that the Torah was given to the Jews. It was offered to the nations of the world, but only the Jews took it with all of its mitzvot, commandments, and that the world lives by fewer commandments, the Noahide laws. Is that a message that you think is going to echo in Israel?
It's hard to say if Beit Israel's message will echo in Israel. They're not very well accepted here. In fact, the state of Israel doesn't accept them as a religion, doesn't accept Tel Arad as their holy site. So I don't see it catching on in Israel. However, it seems to be catching on in other places in the world, and it's definitely growing in popularity in the America and Central America regions as they keep hearing more about it and coming to Israel to find out what it's all about.
Right, and they even have some trouble with the Israeli authorities getting into Tel Arad.
Yes, because
pray.
Tel Arad isn't recognized as a holy site. It's under the Parks Authority, so there's an admission fee to get inside. And because of that, Beit Israel's protesting that they shouldn't have to pay to go to their temple and worship. And so instead of all of them camping at the holy site, they have a second camp which isn't under the Parks Authority, so they don't have to pay to camp there because they're standing by that it shouldn't be something you need to pay for. This is a spiritual land to many people, so their platform is that they should be accepted as well, and because of that, they shouldn't have to pay to go to their holy site, and compare it to as if Jews would have to pay to go to the Kotel.
Interesting stuff. Thank you so much, Shelby, for joining me with that. Okay, we're going to take another quick break, but stay with us for more stories from the Holy Land Uncovered.
I represent the nation of indigenous Hebrew and Israelite people. We're here at the United Nations to declare that we are a people, we are a nation. We're here to say to the world, we want our reparations and our repatriation. We want all that the Western powers and all the people have stolen from us, and we want to return to our motherland, our native land, Jeyeali, Israel. And brothers will give their names as witnesses. Give your name, my brother.
Asherah ben Israel. Eliakim ben Yisrael. Gideon, David, Obadiah.
And I'm Kujenga Elia Ashe. And this is our flag. The Honorable Hashua Mariel, he has a suit in the Supreme Court of Israel. And he is waging a fight for the land. And all of these brothers, we come for reparations and repatriation. These are the men of the Most High, the men of Yah. And we've come to be a part of the Indigenous Peoples Conference here at the United Nations in New York City. And this is what we're doing. So we thank you, and we love you. We're making a testimony against the nations. If the nations do not do right by us, then we will know that Yah, Almighty, will bring down his wrath upon the nations. Right. So here we are today to bear witness to the nations that we are the true Hebrew Israelites, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the true descendants, and the land is ours. So this is what we're here for, and we're so glad to be here. And these brothers here representing the organization and all the organizations of the Hebrew Israelite brothers, we're here for our reparations and our repatriation. And we're going to get quantitative easing with the FAU. We're going to get that right away, but we do want our reparations in honor of Queen Mother Moore and now Queen Mother Dr. Blakely. I'm going to bring her in here.
Sorry.
This is Queen Mother,
yeah,
Dr. Blakely.
We're going to leave now.
She's with us. We're going to the center now.
Yeah, we have to go inside.
We'll go in.
Now.
Come on inside, brothers.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All praises to the Most High. Jeyeali Alai. We invite all of our brothers to attend the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Pesach, on April the 30th, 2018. All camps, we inquire you. We'll be busy bid you to come to the feast of the wedding of the Most High. ISUPK, GOCC, GMS, IUIC, HOD, ABC, Chosen C, and all the other brothers and camps. AOI, we invite you to come to the feast of the Most High, to join us in the brotherhood, as it is written, in nation building. For let this message go out to the four corners of the earth, for all our brothers after the Jubilee to come to the feast of the Most High, so the world can see us as one stick, as united, as one people. Let them see the real Israelites come to the real Jerusalem of the Jebusite, as a unity, as a people, as a nation. All praises to the Most High for the work you brothers are doing. But now, as you see, in the last days, this is the time for us to come together. And what better place to come and let the world see us than the real Jerusalem of the Jebusites? So we invite you to come, not as us leading you, but as a brotherhood, so we can walk together side by side as a nation of people. All praises to the Most High, Jeyeali. Seek the Most High in the place at the right time in Mount Zion.
And I'm happy you brought that up, but you said at the right time. This specific year is going to be a leap year. And you can see right now, we're about to enter into what's called the month of Ramadan. And when we say Ramadan, do we mean Ramadan? Yes. The original month of Ramadan, before it was written in the book of the Quran. The original month of Ramadan was the month that Adam actually died in. It was a month of mourning, a whole month of mourning. And this is what the original people were doing prior to the Quran being written. This is the actual ancient Hebrew month. And what's going to happen, we're going to have in this year, we're going to have a leap year. And in this leap year, that's what's going to put a 13th month, which is going to make Passover at the time that King just appointed. So now what's going to happen? There's going to be a separation again. See, last year, there was a separation between all these brothers that made a statement of a leap year or not a leap year, and then they end up being 2 months behind. And they called for brothers to come up, and they end up messing up and not being at the holy day, at the right place, at the right time, and right season. Now, it's been proven that they've been proven to be wrong. Now, what's going to happen is going to be a separation between them and all the people following the Jewish now. Everybody that's following the Jewish now are going to be off a month from us. So it's going to be a separation because we're following the actual ancient calendar of Enoch and the testimony of Moses. Enoch gave witness of the sun, and not just of the sun, but of the moon also. Most brothers, they keep mentioning the Enoch calendar in reference to the sun, but they skip out on the fact that also Enoch put in there on the moon. But the Most High said that the month of Abib, during the time of Moshe, will be the beginning of months unto us. That's what changed the world from keeping the Enoch calendar. The world was keeping the Enoch calendar, but we was given another calendar, and the Most High made the month of Abib different from the Enoch calendar, the beginning of months unto us. So as King is saying, this is the time to come up and make a difference between us and all the world, because the Most High made us a special people, and He made us holy from all the world, and He gave us a special time to make an appointment. And when you make an appointment, it's not according to what time that we say, it's according to the Most High's time. He said, be at Zion, at the right place, at the right time, with the right spirit. Let me let you close it this morning.
So again, we invite all the camps to come and join us in the brotherhood. Let the world see you. Let the world see us come together as a unit, as a family, and watch what moves the Most High do. Watch what the Most High, the miraculous thing He does.
ربك وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا انظر كيف فضلنا بعضهم على بعض وللآخرة أكبر درجات وأكبر تفضيلا لا تجعل مع الله